What is going on, everybody? 86 here, back with another vlog, and today I just wanted to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about the latest chapter in the book I've been reading, which is about fear and just kind of living on your edge and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and past your boundaries and of your fear, which limits you oftentimes. So, just going to talk a little bit about that. First off, I just wanted to thank everybody for their continued support of the channel. I really appreciate you guys. We're almost at 850 subscribers. So just thank all you guys. And I really appreciate the continued support. So, a man's growth is also, or a person's growth is optimized as he leans just beyond his edge. So what that means is your edge is like your boundaries, which are usually, concluded by fear or insecurities. And if you can just push yourself just a little bit beyond those, you can usually learn a lot more from your experiences, and you can also grow a lot more from those. So it's really important to just kind of stay out of your comfort zone and not be completely complacent and lazy, and just be stagnant, and always just kind of, like I said, push yourself out of your comfort zone and try new things, and always be pushing myself, trying new things, and stay out of my comfort zone. Uh, Careful to not push too hard. Stress can lead to not truly learning from the experience. So it's really careful to find that balance between not being lazy and in your comfort zone, but also pushing yourself, but not pushing yourself too hard, because then it could just become a stressful experience and not really a learning experience. So you have to be really careful with how you go about that. But it's also just really good to just get out of, the comfort zone and really just try to push yourself beyond what you think is capable. So lean just beyond the edge of fear and discomfort. Don't doubt yourself by taking the easy way. Most people take the easy way because they're insecure or fearful. Fear is usually a big boundary for people, and you have to kind of learn to, skate on the edge of those boundaries sometimes. And your fear is the sharpest definition of yourself. So that was like the big part of this that really resonated with me and really just stepped out to me. And your deepest fears reveal your core identity, your boundaries, and your perceived self. So instead of running from fear, it's usually best that you confront and try to understand it. You can transcend your perceived limits and evolve into a stronger version of yourself if you constantly push yourself past your boundaries and you kind of lean into your fear. Fear is a boundary. Fear highlights the edges of your comfort zone, the space between what is known and the unknown, the safe and the challenging. It's really good to challenge yourself, to push yourself. That's usually when people learn the most from those experiences. So confronting fear can be a bit of a challenge for a lot of people. I know it's something that I'm dealing with a lot lately. Confronting old fear, new fears, trying to overcome challenges, insecurities, a lot of those things. And it can definitely be a process, and it's something that I think if you really work hard at and you gradually push yourself to, anybody can overcome their fears, no matter what they are. And you really start to discover yourself when you push yourself past your edge. And you can really just learn a lot about yourself when you do that. And I think it's really important for people to just get out of that comfort zone. Knowing your fear intimately can offer a more authentic definition of yourself. Try to create a perfect, fearless image. It reveals what you are truly afraid of, which can point toward your deepest desires and potential. So, action beyond fear. So, use your fear as more of a compass and not a reason to halt your progress or halt what you might want to do. You can't always let your fear hold you back. You can lean into it to grow, make bolder choices, and live more fully. So I think that that's just really important for me, anyways, to really just get out of my comfort zone and start trying to push myself into things that I was fearful of. And I think that's going to be a really big part of this personal growth. Um, I've been kind of slowly when working on that with certain things, and I I definitely see the growth happening within myself when I push myself out of my comfort zone, and it's definitely it's definitely not something that's gonna just happen the first time you try. You know, it takes work, it takes dedication. You know, you really have to be strong-willed to want to face your fears head on. Fear needs to become your friend, so you are no longer uncomfortable with it. That is real. That's when real trans. Why can I not talk? I can't talk. Sorry. Fear needs to become your friend, so you can no longer be. What? I cannot read today. Fear needs to become your friend, so you are no longer uncomfortable with it. That is when real transformation can occur. Fear of fear might lead me to hold back living a lesser life. Own my fear and lean just beyond it in every aspect of my life. Um, so that's kind of what I'm going to be trying to do is really just push myself beyond my comfort zone and my I don't even know fully what all my fears are currently. That's kind of what I'm trying to discover too since reading this chapter is trying to look into what I'm fearful of. I know doing this alone, just doing a YouTube video talking about kind of personal things, things that I'm working on is fearful. So this right here alone is getting out of my comfort zone because I'm definitely not comfortable talking about, just my mental state or anything like that, period. So it's something that I'm just working on trying to get a lot of these like pent up feelings and just shit trauma stuff out of my, you know, head and really just try to grow and move on past that shit finally and just become the person that I want to be, you know. And I feel like there's been so many things just holding me back from that my whole life that I didn't even really have any control over and shit. So um yeah, so that chapter is really important. Like I said, your fear is the sharpest definition of yourself. When you can really figure out where your fears are, they kind of reveal your core identity and your boundaries of yourself, perceived self. So that's what I'm going to be trying to figure out over the next, I don't know how long, but I'm going to be trying to actually figure out what my biggest fears are, what my biggest insecurities are, and I'm really going to try to lean into those more and try to push myself out of my comfort zone. I'm really going to just try to stay out of my comfort zone. I think I'm going to start streaming a lot more because I feel like that's going to help me get out of my comfort zone. I'm not comfortable streaming, and that's why I just don't do it very much. So I feel like if I can really just sit down and stream for a good amount of time, so I think that's something I'm going to try doing maybe tomorrow, maybe even Friday, some necess streams. But there's some other things I don't really want to get into now that I'm going to try working on. And just remember to always, like I said, don't let you hold yourself back. Most of the time, a lot of the time, our own worst enemy is ourself, our insecurities. So try to gradually work past those and lean into those, and then we can all truly grow as human beings and maybe make some real progress. I know that's what I'm going to be trying to do. I've been trying to make real progress. Um, I just get lazy sometimes too, and then I don't do anything, and then I feel like shit because I don't work on the things that I want to. So I need to stop getting complacent and comfortable. I'm too comfortable sometimes with just being lazy, I don't know. And yeah, so that's just what I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk about fear and how it can really hold people back, including myself, from doing a lot of things. And I think it's held me back from accomplishing a lot of things I probably could have accomplished in my life. So yeah, it's never too late to try things, and it's never too late to learn, and it's never too late to grow, and it's never too late to change. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thanks for checking out the video. Thank you guys for all your continued support. I will see you guys on the next video. Have a wonderful day. Peace.